Academic Test Review 1-2, Scale Factor and Changing Dimensions. We're going to go through a few of the problems. I'm going to work you through the process, and then the key for the rest of them will be on Canvas later. So let's look at number 2 first. It says, look at the two rectangles to the right. The dimensions of rectangle M are 2.5 times the dimensions of rectangle J. What do you multiply the area of rectangle J by to get to the area of rectangle M? So when you're looking, you're going from J to M. So you have to figure out what you're multiplying by. And in this case, they're telling you it's 2.5 times the dimensions. So you have to decide, what are they asking for? Are they asking for a side length, perimeter, or area? In this case, we're asking for the area of your new rectangle. So there was a rule for this. The area of your old figure multiplied by the scale factor squared. And in this case, our scale factor is 2.5. So since our scale factor is 2.5, we're going to square that. So 2.5 times 2.5. And if you multiply 2.5 times 2.5, you get 6.25. So you would take the area of rectangle J, multiply it by 6.25, and that would give you the area of rectangle M, because we're multiplying the length and the width. All right, let's move on to number 7. All right, Jordan designed a logo for his business cards. He needs to enlarge the business card for the letterhead on his business stationery. A rectangle in the logo for the business card is 1.5 centimeters wide and 2 centimeters long. The perimeter of the rectangle for the letterhead needs to be 3.5 times the perimeter of the rectangle on the business card. What is the perimeter of the rectangle for the letterhead? So this number, when it's telling you what it's being multiplied by, 3.5 times, this is our scale factor. So we're going to draw a picture. We have the business card, which is a 1.5 by 2. And the letterhead is going to be larger because our scale factor is more than 1. So our letterhead is going to be larger. And it tells us by how much. Okay, so 1.5 times the scale factor will give us our new length, and 2 times the scale factor will give us the new width and then the new length. Okay, so you can either figure that out. So 1.5 times 3.5 is 5.25, and 2 times 3.5 2 times 3.5 is 7. And now you can figure out the perimeter of your new shape. Or, if you remember what the rule is, you take the perimeter of your old shape, okay, which is 2 plus 1.5 is 3.5, plus 2 is 5.5, plus another 1.5 is 7. So the old perimeter is 7. And perimeter tells us if you just multiply by the scale factor, which was 3.5, you'll get your new perimeter. So 7 times 3.5 is 24.5 centimeters. Number 12. Okay, Draw the image of the figure after the dilation of a scale factor 4. So everything, all of these steps are kind of, we're going to walk through. Each of those are things that you need to be able to do. So the first step says, what is the perimeter of the original figure? Okay, so if you're just counting your length and width here, we have from A to B is 1, and from B to D is 2. So if you count your perimeter, we have 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2. We have 6 units. Okay. What is the perimeter of the new figure? Okay, well, if you actually dilated this because it asks you to draw it, A, our original ordered pair for A is 1, 1. Multiply that by a scale factor of 4. Our new image, or A prime, 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. So the new A would be at 4, 4. That's A prime. Okay, the ordered pair for B is 1, 2. Remember, you're walking to your elevator before you're going up or down. You have to do your X value, then your Y value. So multiply our scale factor of 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So we're going to plot B prime at 4, 8. C, ordered pair for the original C is 3, 2. Multiply that by a scale factor of 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. So C prime is at 12 and 8. And D's original ordered pair is 3, 1. Multiply that by a scale factor of 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 4 is 4. D prime is at 12, 4. Okay, so at this point you can either count the distance around that rectangle or you can use the rule. The rule tells us that the old perimeter, which was 6, multiplied by your scale factor, will give you the new one. 6 times 4 is 24. So we have 24 units. What is the area of the old figure? Well, a 1 by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So that's 2 units squared. What is the area of the new figure? You can either do the length and the width of your new rectangle, multiply them, or the rule tells us the area of your old figure times the scale factor squared, or scale factor times scale factor again for the length and the width. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So it should be 32 units squared. What is the algebraic rule for this dilation? Remember, you have to start with your xy. That was what was given to you. So we're starting with xy, and it needs to move to, you're going to take your scale factor multiplied by your x, 4 times your x, 4 times your y. Okay, we have a couple more questions. Describe the change in the perimeter after the dilation. Okay, you can say that it was multiplied by 4. Okay, or your scale factor. And then describe the change in area after the dilation. You're going to multiply by the scale factor squared. And in this case, our scale factor was 4. So 4 squared, and 4 squared is 16. Okay, let's look at number 15. and we're going to look at 15b. So find the scale factor, then write an algebraic rule that represents each dilation. So you need to decide which one is your original image and which one is the new one. If they have the apostrophe, that is your new image. So we're going to label this old and new. Okay, so you're trying to decide, how do I get from my old one to my new one? So you can set that up. I'm gonna use AB. You can use AB or you can use BC. Either of those would give you a nice relationship. So AB on your original figure is 3. AB on your new image is 1. So how do I get from 3 to 1? 3 times something is going to get me to 1. Divide by 3. So your scale factor is 1/3. Okay, if you use new over old, then new over old tells you that the new length is 1. The old length was 3, so you still end up with 1/3. And your rule should be xy to 1/3 x, 1/3 y. Okay, next page, we're going to go to number 16. You need your highlighters for number 16. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle ADE. Set up a proportion to find the ratio from triangle ABC to triangle ADE. Okay, so let's highlight our corresponding sides. We have AB and AD. We have BC and DE. And we have AC and AE. All right, you have to figure out what a relationship would be in order to find that missing side. So we know that we have to be comparing x and 12 because x is that missing side that we're looking for. Okay, so let's set up that ratio first. And if you want to do smaller over larger, larger over smaller, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do a larger triangle over the smaller triangle. So I'm going to say x over 12, which is, they were both green. And then the two sides that I know the length of are right here. Okay, they told you that AE is 18, but they told you that EC is 42. So you need to add those two together to tell us what AC is. And 18 plus 42 is 60. So I'm going to do my larger triangle over my smaller triangle. And those ones both come from the blue triangle. And you can check x and 60 are on the same side of our relationship, and 18 and 12 are on the same triangle. And the last one that let's do is number 19. Okay, quadrilateral ABCD is dilated with the origin as the center of dilation to create quadrilateral A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. Which rule best represents the dilation that was applied to quadrilateral ABCD to get quadruple A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime? I'm sorry, to get quadrilateral A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. You have to decide which one is the new and which one is the old. Okay, and in this case, the smaller image is the old and the larger image is the new, because A prime is your new image. Okay, looking at our answer choices, we can already cross off a couple of them. The first one, we can cross out A, because the image is getting larger. So in order for it to get larger, your scale factor has to be more than 1, and 0.4 is not more than 1. Okay, we also know that when you're talking about dilations, it has to be multiplying. So B is crossed out because you're adding, and D is crossed out because you're adding and subtracting. The only thing that you can use for dilations is multiplication, so you're only left with C. You could have also figured that out by setting up your ordered pairs. Okay, remember your entire review key is posted on Canvas, so you can look that up. And good luck on your test tomorrow.